Hey everybody, this is Robert at Merit Web Project with another video for you. This particular one relates to an anger study that I'm doing. It's an anonymous study with some of the components here in the database that have been accumulated. So I've got a page where I can see that data. If you at all encounter anger, you're going to want to listen to this entire video. There are 608 results in this pool, and let me start out by telling you what I'm doing is looking at anger as it's associated with addictions, personal portrait, and PSA. Right now, that's what I'm looking at. That'll be modified in the very near future. So there's 608 in the database. Out of those 608, 116 of them have scored with an intermittent explosive disorder score from the MAD assessment that is over a score of 115. So they're elevated, and I arbitrarily picked this 115 because that is a significant score. 110 might be too low. 120, we're going to be excluding people who should be revealed in this study. Now, first of all, let me say there's 608 results in here. 116 of them. That does not mean, please listen carefully to this, that does not mean that 116 out of 608 people have intermittent explosive disorder. We'd be in a world of absolute chaos if 1 out of 6 people had IED. Usually people administer the Merit Anger Diagnostics tool when they believe that the person has an anger problem. So this number is greatly skewed. That skew, however, does not affect our results because we're only looking at this pool. We're not putting these other people in this pool. We want to simply extract these numbers. So we can see that when a score hits here at 115 for these 3 clinical scales, intermittent explosive disorder is not the highest scoring disorder. Connected to that is the abuser type anger issues, and about half the time we see memory loss, psychotic rage. This is a bad one here. When you get people who have psychotic rage, sometimes it's called blind rage, they can do violent acts and not even remember that they did them. I remember a case where a woman was knocking on a door trying to raise her husband or ex-husband, soon to be ex-husband. Couldn't raise him, so she took her car, pulled it up in the front yard under the picture window to use the hood of the car as a ladder, and she busted through the front window, climbed into the house after she broke out the picture window in front of the house, and went in and assaulted her soon-to-be ex-husband very severely. Did not remember that she did it. She did not remember doing that. That's blind rage, psychotic rage, memory loss. Really big problem when you encounter that one. These are all the single results up here for intermittent explosive, memory loss, and abuser type. Down here we have the combinations. Intermittent explosive and memory loss combined together. We got 47 of those. IED and abuser type. Of course, we're going to have more of those because these two numbers here pretty close to each other. Memory loss and abusive type, these are dangerous people because of what I just explained to you. They can park their car in the front yard and climb through a broken window and attack somebody and not even know they did it. All three of them, there's 41 in the database. Notice there's 116 here, so we're talking about a 1 in 3 possibility that a person will score with all three of the clinical scales in this tool. It's just an overall view of what we're looking at as far as anger issues. Next, I'm looking at intermittent explosive disorder, and I will look at all the others. I want to get a few more results. I think it's about time to look at the abuser type because there's 100 results there. This one is just not worth looking at. It's only 59. Have to wait till that gets a little higher. And as far as looking at some of these combos, I'm not going to do that till I'm over 100. So I got to wait on that. I don't want misrepresentations. So what we're looking at here is IED and a single result. That single result is the addictions and dependency scale at 46. That's not good enough for me, but it's somewhat substantial. I want it over 100. But I've been watching this for a while, and I wouldn't be putting this video out if I wasn't confident what I'm seeing. Here are the scores, and the bold red is anything over 115. The non-bolded red are scores over 110. And the light, smaller face are ones that didn't score at all, substantially. So when a person has intermittent explosive disorder, their average alcohol score is 116. Seriously. Drug score is 119. So when you administer MAD and you get somebody who has intermittent explosive disorder over 115, this is what you can expect. Now, of course, it's not going to happen every time, but this is a warning for you. If you administer MAD and the person scores 115, what do you want to do? You want to administer addictions and dependency because I bet you're going to find something. If you don't find one of these, the actual addictive behaviors and compulsive behaviors, you're going to find some of this stuff. Look at the shame score. Very elevated. Very interesting to me in these statistics that fear of failure and fear of rejection are lower, and I find that kind of interesting. And also up here, the compulsive behaviors, gambling is very high. These others have pulled up into that same range, but food is even below 100. So that's kind of just interesting to me. This was a shocker for me, and there's only 34 results, but I've been watching the trend, and I don't think the trend is going to change. IED combined with results from personal portrait inventory. There's 34 of those in the set. This looks kind of confusing, but GT means greater than, LT means less than. These are the one standard deviation out scores. Aggressiveness is 3.79. It's got to be greater than 4.3. So when we look down through all these scores, I'm pretty confident that nothing in the personal portrait inventory is going to go out of normal range as far as averages. What does that say? Well, when you administer MAD to somebody and they score above 115, you're probably not going to get maximum results, maximum view of problems if you do personal portrait inventory with it. It's a tool that you can use, but don't expect to find a lot of goodies that connect to why the person is angry. It's just not there. The two tests do not collaborate with their data. Now, talk about collaboration. Here we go. I fully expected this. IED with personality spectrum. 61, so we're getting up there. I want to see it over 100, but 61, well, we're getting somewhere. I expected the top three, and it's in the order that they exist, and they're there. When a person has IED over 115, it's likely you're going to find antisocial. It's likely that you're going to find borderline. And it's likely that you might also find narcissistic personality. These three are sociopathic and psychopathic in nature. Paranoid, that's pretty logical for me. Schizoid or schizotypal, that's also another very logical one for me as far as it being here. This person is out of touch with reality. This person is scared, and a lot of times fear is what promotes the anger. Notice these are both 10s. 10 is my breach score, so they're lower on the scale. A schizoid, this person just doesn't want to be with people. That's not going to score. And avoidant is 105, so they don't want to be with people either. These scores look pretty good. You should realize that IED is probably going to throw one of the socio-psychopathic personality maladaptations, and these are maladaptations. These are not constructs. These are all maladaptations. So that's it for now with this video. I want to show you what I'm doing with this. Eventually I will publish this so you can see it as soon as it's a little more stable and I can get a little more data in here. I'm going to publish it, and then you'll be able to go in and take a look at it. For now, I'm signing off, and hope you enjoyed this.